On today's episode of Locked On NHL, Brad Treliving is now former Toronto Maple Leafs general manager. What do the Maple Leafs do next? And where does Bruce Cassidy come into play?
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, I'm Seth Toupal. He's JD Young, and welcome to Locked On NHL. On today's show, we will take a look at who could be the next head coach fired in the NHL and where does Bruce Cassidy end up next. We will also talk about John Tortorella taking the reins in Vegas and what he can do to help propel the Vegas Golden Knights. Did they need propelling? And we'll also talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs making the decision to relieve Brad Treliving of his duties. Are they done?
Relieve and duties in the same sentence.
Are they done? Are the Maple Leafs done? Spoiler alert, no. Nope. My name is Seth Toupal, host of Locked On Wild, joined by JD Young of Locked On Sharks. And JD, normally, anytime you get John Tortorella front and center in the NHL, that's top billing for that particular show. But just coming down the pipeline.
This affect the Leafs Ultimate Edition, right?
Yeah. This is the one situation that would upset and usurp John Tortorella making his return to the coaching circles. Brad Treliving, gone. The Toronto Maple Leafs have had enough, and they're going in a different direction. I guess, first off, not a stunner, perhaps, but interesting timing that they would do this on the same day of a game and like an hour before the game started, and that they would do this with like 10 games left in the season.
Maybe they're like you, because you think about too, like you have Nashville who's actively looking for a GM, right? We're going to talk about some other guys other teams who could be looking for GMs. They probably just want to get a head start because, like, what does it matter the last 2 weeks of the season here, especially for a team that kind of really needs to finish in the top 5 in the draft standings to keep their first round pick this year. So yeah, I think for them it makes total sense here. Like if it was me and I was the owner of the Leafs, fire the GM, I'd fire the head coach, I'd pull up like my nephew or something to run the team for the last like 2 weeks of it. So like behind the bench, anybody who is going to be part of the future, phantom injuries, like the tank would 1,000,000% be on, because you're trying, like this team needs a talent injection in a bunch of different places, but two, like it's just time, man. Like this franchise is just, it's always something with this franchise. And yeah, I think this made a lot of sense. And the timing might be a little bit weird now, but you're going to have a serious competition. I think there could be like 4 or 5 GM openings this summer. And I think you're going to have some serious competition to try to get someone in here to try to clean up this mess.
It's funny because this reminds me a lot of what Kyle Dubas stepped into with Pittsburgh, where this is not a small project. This is going to be a major, major change because it just feels like this Toronto Maple Leafs team has nothing left to give. They have given everything that they had. You brought Craig Berube in to try to show them a different way to go about it, and it's been an abject failure. And at this point, the roster is just not good. Yeah. The top-level guys are not playing well, but that's because they're being, I think, pulled into the mud by the rest of the roster. Mm-hmm. So at this point, it's time. It is time for this to become a major project. And so, yeah, I certainly agree that, getting a head start is worth it. It's going to be really interesting to see what like the first steps are. Do you end up going with Auston Matthews first? Do you end up, do you go with some of the supporting guys? Do you go William Nylander first? It feels like it feels like it's time to build a new foundation for this roster. Do you build around Matthew Nyes? I mean, he's had stretches this year, but he certainly hasn't looked as good as he did last year. What do you do?
That's like it's such an like Treliving. I don't think he ever expected this to happen this season.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause you look at like if you're a GM whose team is on its way to picking in the top 5 or top 10, you're usually like trying to acquire as many, like sell off whatever you can, acquire as many assets as you can throughout the season. Like, and I know this year's a little bit weird and stuff, but like we kind of knew the Leafs were done this year. Like this, it just, and it wasn't, but you know how many trades this team made since the summer? 3 trades, 1 on March 5th, 2 on March 6th, the trade deadline. Why wasn't he like something like you like either start selling off pieces early, right? And I know it was this weird market and you had the like still other GMs made a bunch of deals and stuff. Like, what are you like? Why were you not trying to at least you could have gone to ownership like, hey, you know, I know it wasn't our season, but looking at some of the assets I acquired, like here's the plan going forward, et cetera, et cetera. But you do wonder if Auston Matthews maybe had a word with ownership and was like, we got to do something different here, right? I know right now he's dealing with his injury and, you know, coming back from that, but you do wonder if word from his group got to ownership and was like, we got to change some stuff here. And if it's, you know, Treliving and you, again, if you're Craig Berube, like you might as well just start cleaning your office right now. Cause I think, what is it, 24 hours after the first game, give or take, or less than, I would say the under on 24 hours after the first game, after the final game before he's let go. Yeah. It's just, it's a tough situation on a bad team where the superstar players haven't lived up to expectations, and it feels like every switch they try to, you know, pull to try to find something in the bottom 6 or support players, just none of them work. And we see similar situation in Edmonton, but like their star players are just way better than the Maple Leaf star players, and they're able to kind of overcome it. But yeah, and then plus you're playing, you know, in Toronto, which is like the craziest of markets in the entire league. So that just magnifies everything by 1,000%. So yeah, it's do not envy the next GM who's walking into this.
Would you like to know the number of players that are signed to deals that run either to 2030 or beyond?
It's a lot. It's
Morgan Riley, 2030. And that's $7.5 million per.
Yep.
Jake McCabe, 2030. That's $4.513 million per. Chris Tanev, 2030, $4.5 million.
Chris Tanev, who's 36 right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got that they're gonna have to buy him out. Matthew
with a
Nyes,
full no clause on that bad boy too.
Matthew Nyes signed to a deal through 2031 at $7.75 million.
He's 23. You can live with that. Yes.
William Nylander signed to a deal through 2032 at $11.5 million per.
No move clause on that one. And then Auston Matthews is going to be wanting more money here sooner rather than later too.
And he's making $13.25 million as it is.
Yep.
So
yeah, summer 2027, Matthews is eligible for an extension. And then you also forgot Anthony Solars, the goalie, who's signed a new deal this season, and he's signed through 2030, making $3.75 million. So, yeah, man.
Yikes.
Oh, and a good thing, like you have a bunch of first-round picks and stuff to potentially build. Or that's right, you owe 2 first-round picks coming up here. So between was it Boston and Philly get those picks? I believe, if I recall correctly.
You know the movie. You know the movie Margin Call, where
No.
so it's a kid stumbles upon a formula that leads to a major Fortune 500 company having to sell off like all of their bonds and dividends that they have because they are extremely radioactive, and if they don't, it will crater the market. It feels like Toronto right now.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, as far as the deadline goes, like the guys that you could even look at moving, Max Domi, but he's got 2 years left on his deal. Dakota Joshua's got 2 years left on his deal. Callie Yarncroke is an unrestricted free agent. So it's like they have too many guys that are just locked into like, are you going to shop Oliver Ekman-Larsson at the deadline?
He was reportedly teams were interested in his services, but I guess they wanted too much and stuff. And yeah, Brandon Carlo, that trade looks absolutely horrible now.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it feels like everything they have touched has turned to just gunk. So
not a banner tenure for Brad Treliving, and so
don't worry. He'll get a job as an assistant GM for somebody coming up this summer.
He's going to take over for Kelly McCrimmon in Vegas.
Ooh, could you imagine Mitch Marner just like, get me away?
You can't keep getting away with that.
Just Marner turns the corner and Treliving's there. Just like
nightmare.
It's the Michael just like no anytime like I see no.
It's funny.
Poor Toby.
Not only did the Maple Leafs make the decision to move on from Brad Treliving, that one was a little easier to explain. What the Vegas Golden Knights decided to do in bringing John Tortorella in favor of Bruce Cassidy is a little more complex. And so when we come back, we're going to take a look at the reasons that Vegas decided to make the move and if it's going to be enough to float them past the first round in the playoffs. We'll discuss as we continue today's episode of Locked on NHL after this. Today's episode of Locked on NHL is brought to you by Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Welcome back to today's edition of Locked on NHL. Once again, we thank you for making Locked on NHL your first listen each and every day. We are your team each and every day as well. And if you're looking to level up your Locked on experience, the Everydayer Club is the perfect way to do so with ad-free editions of your favorite Locked on shows and the exclusive members-only Discord server. Locked on Everydayer Club is giving you a step up in your Locked on experience. You can find all of your favorite shows, Everydayer Clubs, by going to the show notes for your favorite Locked on show. You'll find more information there. So click the link, join, and be merry. The Locked on Everydayer Club, bringing you an elevated look at your favorite Locked on shows. Brad Treliving gone. Bruce Cassidy gone by the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, this one is, I got to say, this one is way more of a shock because...
Is it? It's Vegas, man.
I mean, I understand the reasoning behind it because if you're Vegas, you're expecting to you're expecting to be a little higher up in the standings than you currently are. My counter is that the problems with the roster are GM problems, not coaching problems.
Yeah. This was a great, so Jay Fresh on hockey, great, does a lot of analytic stuff, right? Since the Olympic break, Vegas ranked third in 5v5 expected goal share, shot share, and shot attempt share. So they were creating, they were shooting a lot, they were creating a lot, they were holding the other team to, not shooting, basically. They also allowed the fewest shots against per 60, the third fewest expected goals against. They're last in shooting at 6.8% and second last in save percentage at 86.9%. So they just extremely unlucky, and the goaltenders couldn't make a save. But the Torts thing is really funny, especially with the timing of it, right? 8 games left, which I jokingly thought they didn't want to burn his ELC this year, so that's why he's playing. He's only gets less than 9 games for Torts. But here's the Vegas schedule, though, going forward. They're playing Vancouver on Monday night as we're getting ready, as we're recording to get ready to start this game. Then they play Calgary, Edmonton. That's okay. That's a good one there. Vancouver, Seattle, Colorado, who might be like nothing to play with for the last 3 games of the season, Winnipeg and Seattle. Like, Torts is just walking into this it's like this schedule against some of the worst teams in the NHL here, and it's gonna be like, look, he fixed the problems, guys. Everything's good here. Don't look behind the curtain or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see like Torts and stuff, and kind of because like he's been he's on the Flyers, like that Flyers team was it up and coming or kind of a rebuilding team, and like it's been a while since Torts has been handed a roster kind of like this. I will be intrigued to see his impact on it, but again, like I don't know what you could do to just like shoot the puck better and make a save better. Is that what you do? Like, yeah, I'm just can you make a save here for me, Aiden Hill?
Well, and like we know John Tortorella as being a guy that can coax more out of a roster.
Yeah.
In particular, a little younger roster. This is a heavy veteran group.
It's like super veteran-y. Yeah, it's like Mitch Marner, like Jack Eichel, Mark Stone is like seen it and done everything. Like, what's Tortorella gonna do to Mark Stone? Other than just say, like, I guess he's just gonna do the miracle is what's wrong with your leg speech.
Yeah, don't go on long-term injured reserve. We're not letting you.
We're not letting you at this point. Yeah, I like. It feels like the issues with Vegas are more roster construction, like you said, than they are like the team is just not. Yeah,
goaltending
and goaltending. But that I'm going to put that under roster construction a little bit more than like and I mean, who could have seen Aiden Hill not able to stay healthy and then all of a sudden the big contract you give him after a ridiculous playoff run? Like, who could have seen that aging like milk? Because it looks like it's aging like milk.
This is exactly how Dean Evison got fired from the Minnesota Wild. The goaltending was bad at the beginning of the season. You can push as many buttons as you want. You can throw things. You can be super encouraging to players. You can go every possible way you want. And if the goalies aren't making saves, it doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
It does not matter in the slightest.
Nope.
What you do.
Nope. And how many times have we seen goaltending prop up bad coaching, right? Where it's just like, yep. You look at like, I mean, plenty of teams where it's just, bad goaltending. I mean, great goaltending propping up, a bad roster, like the Flames last year, right? That Flames roster was terrible. They rode Dustin Wolf to almost a playoff, and then now look at the goaltending went away this year, and now the Flames are one of the worst teams in the NHL. Like, it's Yeah, you do. I know our the guys over at Locked On Golden Knights, they were pondering if Vegas gets knocked out early, is Kelly McCrimmon gone? And again, we have seen this franchise, this front office, like they do not care. They are going to make the right decision, or what they feel is the right decision for their franchise. They don't care about the noise. They don't care what anyone else thinks. If you're Kelly McCrimmon, like you better hope this works here. And Torts can at least get them, out of the first round into the second round. The good thing is you play in a horrible Pacific division where you're gonna probably play in like either Edmonton or Anaheim in the first round, and it's not like anybody in the Pacific is world beaters here. So but yeah, if you're Kelly McCrimmon, you're probably not sleeping really great right now, knowing that this you could be the next one here.
Yeah, because you only get to play this card once or twice as a general manager before then you become the card that's played.
Yep.
So yes, John Tortorella has a large pedigree as far as being a head coach goes, but again, a lot of it is contingent on having a younger roster that he can kind of coach up.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell these guys that they don't already know?
Yeah.
And if you are a veteran player, like if you're a Jack Eichel, do you want a coach riding you like crazy? If you are making do you want a coach nitpicking what you're doing at this point in the season?
Eichel, who just won a gold medal for Team USA as a Stanley Cup champion, came here and brought a Stanley Cup championship to Vegas. Yeah. Maybe they just needed a new voice and stuff. And it's Bruce Cassidy's in a great coach. Bruce Cassidy is going to have the pick of the litter of jobs, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But it's an interesting decision at a very interesting time here for Vegas to flip this lever and see if this can actually get the team going here. But it's gonna be fun. It always is. It's always is Vegas. There's always something, man.
Let's not delay the speculation any further. Let's just hop right into it. And when we come back, we'll take a look at possible next destinations for Bruce Cassidy. Who is going to pull the trigger and yank their general manager or head coach or both? Who's making moves? We'll discuss as we finish today's Locked on NHL after this. Final segment of today's edition of Locked on NHL. Once again, we thank you for making Locked on NHL your first listen each and every day. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new episodes throughout the week. JD, let's recklessly speculate to finish today's episode of who is going to be next. And I think we can safely say, with Brad Treliving being relieved of his duties, Craig Berube is gone the moment the regular season. You know what's going to happen? They're going to give him a thank you, Coach Berube, in the third period of the final game of the year.
Just actually the tweet gets scheduled wrong. And 1,000,000%. That would be so Maple Leafs too, just to schedule the tweet wrong.
It's going to happen though. It's going to happen.
It has to. You feel when we're going to kind of do this all at one, but you feel like the Maple Leafs here, especially if depending on the GM, but Cassidy feels like the coach that you'd want there, right? Because especially with the roster, you have a lot of guys who've been kind of underperforming here. You have a lot of some veterans and stuff like that. It feels like Cassidy would be that would be a great landing spot for him as that Maple Leafs in a roster. And I think I know Berube's Craig Berube, but I think Cassidy would be a really great landing spot there. So
yeah, I think so too. He is more of a veteran coach that is capable of just putting the pieces where they need to be in the lineup.
Here's an interesting one. Just down south for me. LA Kings. interim coach DJ Smith, a roster that is constantly kind of underperformed, right? You feel like they've never, like the coaching's always kind of held them back. And like, yeah, you got Panarin coming in. Like maybe Panarin can be your kind of like your star player here for a couple seasons. Like I like that one makes a lot of sense for me. Like a team that's trying to kind of take that next step here and stop being the Minnesota Wild of the Pacific of just getting to the first round and getting crushed. I know, sorry, getting crushed by the Edmonton Oilers every year, but like that could make a ton of sense there. First of all,
wow, I was not expecting to have the rug pulled out from under me in such a divisive fashion.
Spot the lie.
It's not wrong, but I reserve the right to just not be super happy about it.
That's fine. Again,
yeah. You could certainly make the case. You could certainly make the case for the Kings because now they have they've bounced around a little bit as far as GMs go, as far as coaches go, and you may want to just take the opportunity before you get too vested to make sure you got the right guy. Make sure you have what you think is a solid fit going forward, and that feels to me like that would be kind of a Lindy Ruff to Sheldon Keefe. Now I know that we're going to talk about the Devils here in a little bit, but you're going from one high profile coach to another. Now DJ Smith obviously is kind of the in between there, but I could see the Kings making that decision to be like, let's just get our guy and let's just get the pieces put together and figure out the rest as we go.
I got a spicy one. I got a really spicy one.
Shoot.
Montreal Canadiens. You have Martin St. Louis, who's been a great coach for them, right? Kind of guiding them through this rebuild here. But it's a very competitive Eastern Conference. What if you get knocked out the first round and you realize like St. Louis is taking us as far as we can go? We need that guy. Again, we need that guy to kind of take us over. And yes, it's a younger roster, but like although it's a younger roster, like a lot of like these guys have been around. You think about like Cole Caulfield has been here, like Suzuki feels like he's about 25 and also has played 15 years in the league at the same time. I know again you have some young players here, but like doesn't that like for a team that's right on the cusp of being kind of like that next team, I could like that one makes some sense. I think it's spicy, but I really like that one too. So
see, here's how I would play that out. I would allow the general manager to go get a bona fide goalie and then say
Fowler. Like Fowler's good, man. Like I think Fowler's going to be the guy next. Oh yeah, dude. Fowler, like having watched Fowler a fair amount, especially in his Boston College days, like Fowler's is like going to be like a upper tier goalie. Like it's going to be a matter of win, not if for him. I think.
Yeah,
so I'm really high on Fowler.
I see the route you're taking. I don't see it being very likely given that they are.
I said it was spicy. It was spicy.
It very much is.
Yeah.
Is this the season that the Yzer plan finally gets put on Indeed?
I could see that one. Like, yeah, there could be a lot of like GMs who, if you're worried about like Yzerman, right? You think Fitzgerald in New Jersey. Drury's like already packing up his stuff. Like that office better be cleaned out.
Front office executives in New York are like, why are you still here?
your key card still works.
How did you get into the building?
If you don't leave the building, you can't worry about getting locked out. So
I got a spicy one for you.
Yeah.
Jared Bednar.
If they get bounced in the first round or something, like especially see the problem is they're gonna have like because I don't see like I don't see Dallas catching them now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what are the points as we're recording? Yeah,
It's
it's too many points. It's 6 points now, and they have 2 games in hand. So
Yeah.
the problem is they're going to get like a team like LA or Nashville or something like that. They're going to get a cupcake first round opponent where they're going to like, even if they just screw around for 5 games, they're going to like take care of them, you know?
Yeah.
But like, yeah,
I don't think Colorado is granted, they did make some changes on the coaching staff, but like everything has they didn't have the panic goalie moves like they did last year.
Yeah,
like the goaltending has just been good this year.
Yeah, and they dealt with a lot of injuries and it's like they were so good early on that like now when they lose a couple games, it's like, is it time to panic in Colorado? It's like they set the standard way too high at the beginning of the season. So I think you'd have to have like a monumental collapse in the first round. This has to be like Sharks, Red Wings, like 94 type of thing where you like for him to get fired there. That would be shocking. It would have to take something like that where it's like you get beat by like Nashville or it's like you could totally see the series going 7 games. Every game Colorado wins is like 5-2, and every game Nashville wins is like a 2-1. UC Saros just goes absolutely ham and wins you a series type of thing. Yeah, like that. That's what I think. That's what it would take him. Then you would maybe have the conversation. But he's built up too much goodwill. Like he's still one of those like 5 coaches. Like I think one of the 5 best coaches in the NHL. So
yeah, I would agree.
So.
I don't think Colorado is I think they're too good of an organization to make.
No, they're not going to panic like that. Yeah,
they're not going to make that big of a reactionary type move. They're not going to go the Vegas route.
No.
So
what other coaches do you think are very much like, Well,
up until the month of March, I would have said, what about Jim Montgomery in St. Louis?
Yeah, they did it again. They did it again.
It's always too little, too late.
They did it again. Cam Fowler. Well, there goes our hopes of the Cam Fowler player coach. One day, the Cam Fowler player coach. You do wonder. We were talking about this beforehand. The Rangers, right? If Drury, does Mike Sullivan just be like, "Thanks, I'm out, guys"?
Certainly could.
I don't want any part of this.
He could be like, I was brought in here to coach a team on the rise, not a development thing.
Yeah. It is funny how he left Pittsburgh, and now Pittsburgh's like really good this year with like a roster that a lot of us thought was going to be one of the worst teams in the NHL, and they're firmly in the playoff mix here. And then he goes to the Rangers, and that was supposed to be the final piece, and the final piece to getting a top 3 pick. So like you look at kind of like Edmonton, like you never know with Edmonton, right? Like we kind of touched on that one too. I think Bruce Cassidy right there would be a great fit for Edmonton if they wanted to upgrade from Knobloch. I know like Knobloch just brought you to, like you just went to the Stanley Cup, and you could maybe like in a very weak Pacific, you could make it through again. But you do wonder if McDavid, who has all the power, is just like, get me Cassidy, something like that. So, but that's gonna be fun. I think there's gonna be a lot of changes in front offices / coaching this offseason. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a very active offseason to say the least. Not only coaches, GMs, but players as well. Feels like I
think it'll be a lot of trades. Free agency is gonna be an actual free agent class is going to be really boring, but I think it's going to be a very active trade because I think most teams are going to realize that's the way to acquire players. We need
to from now on refer to free agency as free agent. See,
they're all graded C.
One free agent just signed. Like, see, look, one free agent.
I thought they're all C level free agents.
No. We literally just. On the first day of free agency, just literally one player signed.
One player. Elliot Friedman. Easy job that day.
Yeah. Don't feel like you have to stay at work the whole day.
No,
like,
just
do your
if you work from home today, it's fine. We got it. We got it.
Next.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fun.
Yes, it will be. It'll be a lot of fun. That is going to do it for today's episode of Locked On NHL. Once again, we thank you for making Locked On NHL your first listen each and every day. For more breakdown on the Brad Treliving news and the Bruce Cassidy news, make sure to check out Locked On Maple Leafs and Locked On Golden Knights for your daily reaction to both moves. We've got new episodes of Locked On NHL every Monday through Friday as part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.